wonder if while you're doing, well, I'll let you go ahead, Henry.
Go ahead, Henry.
Okay, I'm going to start doing a screen share then. Share screen. And I'm going to share screen one and share. Okay, so we're going to start with the manual. So let me bring that up to the top. Okay, now what I said was if you look at the table of contents, anything anything that any subject that has a star next to it means it's there for really for reference only. I probably won't get to it today. I also have added a couple more asterisks for a couple of headers. Yeah, I've got them in here. Some with a plain asterisk, it means I included it from prior manuals. Uh, Take, for example, immersive reader. Daryl, you asked me to add that, so I did, but I'll cover it if time permits. And the same thing with collections. So that's basically what I'm covering today. But I do have to review a little bit of the introduction. Here comes somebody. Okay. Okay, so what is the World Wide Web? It's the part of the internet's a lot bigger. Madeline Wynn is entering. Can I admit her?
No, I did.
Okay,
You don't worry about that, Henry. Bobski
okay,
and I'll take care of it.
got it. Thank you. Okay, so the World Wide Web is the internet's a lot larger and older than the World Wide Web. Okay, but the web is what contains text, images, graphics, music, videos, and links to other pages. So what's a browser? It's the piece of software that you download that changes all those little ones and zeros that come down the line and makes them uh, intelligible into the world, into the format that you need to see them in the World Wide Web. This is all stuff you don't need to know. HTML, if you've ever heard the term, it stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and that's the language that is used by programmers to create web pages. Okay, more importantly, look for the HTTP versus the HTTPS. The S means it's secure. So it used to be there were a lot of unsecure sites out there. You could even get into a bank and in some of the inside pages would not be secure. Remember, that's set on a page by page basis. But now most everything is secure. It's the S stands for something a little more complicated, but I'm not going to get into it. Your home page is the first page that is displayed when you open your browser. Now, website homepage is the first page of a website. And keep in mind, when you display a URL as a uniform resource locator, when you display a page, you display a page for each URL, not a website. So you can have multiple pages open at a time in a browser, even if the pages are in the same website. I use that all the time. And lastly, do not confuse a browser with a search engine. A browser is the thing that you need to see stuff on the World Wide Web. Search engine is one type of a page or a website that searches. That's all. Like, for example, Google's Google search and web's search engine is Bing. I mean, Microsoft's search engine is Bing. Those are search engines. Google's browser is called Chrome, and Microsoft's browser is called Edge. That's what I'm teaching today. There are lots and lots of browsers, probably hundreds of them. We're gonna cover Edge today, and it's based on what is called the Chromium open source browser. So there's another browser called Google Chrome that is based on the same open source code. Open source means it's free for programmers to use. So Edge and Chrome are very similar and have a lot of the same features, okay, for that reason. The last time I showed the stat counter was I think 6 months ago. Edge at that point had about this is worldwide. Chrome dropped a little and Edge went up a little. I think it was 8 or 9% 6 months ago. So it's up to 13%. But Chrome still has the majority of the worldwide number of users. Safari is mostly for Apple users, but there are a lot of other browsers out there. So what are we going to cover today? Well, I'm going to very shortly cover a couple of things that are very handy in this tips and tricks thing. So make sure you can print this manual out, or I've made a couple of changes to the manual. So if you want a copy of the manual, a fresh copy, email me. My email address is on the front cover. Email me, ask for a copy of a fresh copy of this handout, and I will email it to you. Okay. Now, how do I set a default browser? This is different in Edge and Chrome. They're both different and it can get really messy. So instead of hunting for it, I put this in here. In Windows 11, you go to settings, and then within settings, you go to apps, and then within apps, you go to default apps. And under the set defaults for application, scroll down to Microsoft Edge. There's Alamiro. Click the set default in the upper right corner of the page. See, that's not exactly easy, so it's hard to remember that stuff. And Bobski, you can check me on this Mac, but I think it's okay. I just don't use Mac. Okay. Now,
I think you got it right.
okay, good. Thank you. Thanks. That was ChatGPT that gave me that. Okay. How to set a default search engine. The default search engine used in Edge. Now, a default search engine is when you're in the search box in Edge, and for some reason Chrome calls it an omnibox, but it's the search box. And you type something in, that's the default search engine. So in other words, if you're in Microsoft Edge, you can still use Google Chrome as the search engine. They're independent settings. So what you do is click the three-dot menu. Now, if you look up in my upper right-hand corner here, you see this three dots where I have the mouse pointer. Click on that. And then I'm going to go to my printout because we took down my second screen. And I'm going to go over to settings. So you go down to settings and click on that. And then you get to settings. And then you go to, on the left column in the left panel, go to privacy, search, and services. See, this is why I put this in here because it's not easy to remember. Scroll down to the services section. I don't know why they make it so hard, but they do. And then in the services section, go down to the search engine used in the address bar. So that's down near the bottom. Let's see. Services, search engine used in the address bar. Services, click on, address bar and search. Then click on search engine used in the address bar, and you'll see a box on the right-hand side saying Google. That's my default on my computer. So this says, even if I'm in Microsoft Edge browser, I can use Google as my search default when I'm entering stuff in the search box. Got it? Okay. Now we're going to start the real deal stuff. Let me go to Edge Tips and Tricks. Copilot. Copilot is Microsoft's AI engine. Okay. You can get to Copilot two different ways. You can go to it directly. That's on any web browser, and just by going to that URL there, that's a full screen web version. The other way you can do it is if you're in Edge, you can get to it uh, by you can get to either a chat bot, which is called chat. Chat bot lets you have a conversation with the search engine, or you can compose an email. I have some examples in here on how to do that. On 2 or 3 examples. And you choose a conversation style, pick relevant sources, and so forth. Uh, you can bring up any web page on Edge and click on the pilot icon in the upper right corner. So let me go to, for example, this page right now. I'm viewing in Edge. I'm going to up in the upper right hand corner. You see that funny looking blue icon? I'm going to click that, and that's going to open up another panel. And I can adjust the width of that panel by dragging that line that's hard to get to, but you drag it till you see a two-faced arrow, and you can drag it almost all the way to the left, but not quite. So I'll show you like 50-50 right now. So in the manual, I show you, I'm looking at the manual right here. Uh, See, that is a picture of some applesauce. And then on the right side is the panel that I'm showing over here in the, for real, it's confusing picture. But see, let me drag this back to where it usually starts. The Copilot things, I'm going to get rid of this thing here. It's blocking my view. It's Zoom's little box to use. Okay, so you see a Copilot over here, and you see um, the page that I'm displaying. Um, so I can if I click the Copilot icon again, that panel disappears. Okay, if I click it once again, it's a toggle. I can go back to I can see the Copilot panel. Now, if you look at the top, and this is easy to miss, you have two modes of operation, chat and compose. It is in chat mode right now, okay? If you're in compose mode, it looks different. Takes a while to load. You get things like tone, format, length, and what it creates. But my first example I'm going to show you is in chat mode, and I don't want to forget to click that. I go to the manual, display the manual. I can do this for a while, but when I start to show some other stuff, I'm going to have to uh, show this on a bigger screen. So the chat mode is a chat bot. A chat bot simulates human-like conversations with users. It acts like a human would have a conversation with another person in real time. You will be able to input typed or dictated questions or instructions to it. It will then respond with its output. This can continue in a repeated fashion. So I drew this little chart here, which says repeat as needed. You're typing in or speaking a natural language input. It goes to Copilot, chatbot, and then it spits out natural language output. And you can repeat that as needed. Compose, on the other hand, lets you compose things like, for example, it can write code for you, which I'm not going to demonstrate today. That's computer code. It can write essays. That's really important for school kids because they can write the term papers using a Copilot. They can get caught too by their teachers who are supposed to be up on this kind of stuff and recognize when it's created by a chatbot that it is cheating. But anyway, it's a good research way to find stuff, though. It can compose emails and it can create poetry, summaries. I'm going to show you, demonstrate a summary of a PDF. It can translate and even do recipes. And you can ask for clarification, so you can talk to it. So if it says something to you and you don't like what it said, you can go down to the bottom of the panel and ask a follow-on question and continue that mode of discussion with the chatbot. Let's take an example here. I'm going to take a PDF document. Now, what you're going to see on what I demonstrate might be different than the copy you got. This is one of the things I changed today because I realized I was summarizing my 24 version yesterday. So, but I fixed this copy. So if you want a fresh copy of the manual, just email me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to summarize a PDF document. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a PDF document and I'm going to open it in Edge. And to do that, I hope this works. Let me write this down. Oh, I have to respond. A participant has enabled closed captioning. Okay. There we go. Let me bring up File Explorer. There we go. So I keep all my manuals I stuck this copy of this manual on my desktop today so I could find it easily. Okay, and let's see, desktop. Well, I thought I did. Okay, let's go where I usually put it. Edge class and manuals, Edge tips and tricks. Okay, I want the 2023 version. So I see it down here. Edge tips and tricks for SCTC taught in 2023. And I'm going to right click it though. I'm not going to double click it so that I can go open with Microsoft Edge. And there it is. I'm going to drag this title bar up to the top. Now, notice the Copilot panel is there. I can toggle it on and off, but I'm going to leave it on. Okay. I'm in chat mode, which is important. And let's see. Now I have the May 2023 version of this document open, and I want to select the more balanced mode, and I want to use the relevant sources of auto detect. That's all in the manual. And I'm going to go up and click Generate Document Summary right there. And it's working. Now these things are working on their servers and they take up a lot of CPU clicks. So they get expensive. And you know, Microsoft is paying for this. So some of these chatbots out there let you put a limit on how many times you can use the chatbot without paying a subscription fee. But right now, this one is free. But here is now, if we look at the summary, if we look at the table of contents of this document, it's covering some of the stuff in the manual, and it actually has read this PDF document, and it says it has an introduction to browsers, explains what browsers are, their purpose, and examples like Chrome, Edge, Safari, and Firefox. What are the features? Well, this manual is going to talk about setting a default browser. This one has that in there too. manage how to using the search box, managing tabs, and accessing the Edge menu, and then we have details on how to add, edit, remove, and organize favorites, including all the favorites bar and the favorites page. So that was quite a lot of stuff to cover in that manual, and extensions and updates. So if you scroll through the manual, it has red. I don't know why that stuff's highlighted. It shouldn't have been, but this was quite a extensive. I can't even read that number. It was a bunch of pages. Okay, let me go back to the manual. So we showed one example, okay? Now I'm gonna show another um, example. Gonna open Edge. We're gonna click the Copilot icon. We've already done that. That panel is open. And I'm gonna also use chat. So the chat option is selected. And I'm gonna select more creative. So I want to select there. Um, More creative up here. I had more balanced in the first example. Here's more creative. And using relevant sources, I'm going to leave where it was, auto detect, and ask me anything. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, instead of typing, I'm going to cheat a little bit and copy this. I'm mousing with my right hand, my left hand. I should try my right hand. There. I don't want the quotes. So I'm going to do Control C on my keyboard, which puts it on the clipboard. And then I'm going to go down here, ask me anything down at the bottom. It says ask me anything. So I'm going to click in that box and I'm going to go Control V, which is a keyboard shortcut for paste. And then I'm going to see that little right arrow to the right. I'm going to submit it. When I hover my mouse, it says submit. Now this takes a little while. It has generated, it's going to generate 4 images. I get to select one of them. And by the way, every time you do this, you're going to get some different results, slightly different, including the next example, which is a poem, writing a poem. See, these are almost the same, but not quite. There's a cat, there's a really angry cat. See, so this, when I did this manual, that was one of the 4 examples. You don't see that on any of these examples, but that shows you what it looks like. Now, a couple of notes about this. The example above used the image creator. The Edge image creator is included in the compact version of Copilot, which is this one, where I click that icon to go to Copilot. Another way to generate an image is to use the Microsoft Designer directly. To use Microsoft Designer, you can type Microsoft Designer and go to that URL. Note the terminology for Microsoft Designer versus this is stuff that just confused me. So I put a note in there. The terminology for Microsoft Designer versus the Edge Image Creator is confusing. While both the Designer and Edge Image Creator leverage AI, artificial intelligence, for image creation, Microsoft Designer offers broader design capabilities, whatever that means, while the Edge Image Creator is more focused on generating images. And here's another note for those who care. Microsoft Designer is an actual application, while the Edge Image Creator is a function within Edge Copilot. So there's technical distinction between the two. Okay, I'm going to do one more example with Edge. I'm going to open Edge and I'm going to go to the Compose feature. So I've already have the Edge, the Copilot panel open. I'm going to click Compose at the top and I am going to, in the right about box, Oh, there it is, right about. Um, I'm going to again use the clipboard so I don't have to retype this. It's supposed to say this. I'm going to control C. I'm going to do a control V over here. Write a poem about forgetting things when you start to get older. Okay, we want it to be funny. So we're going to click the funny box. We're going to uh, select the paragraph box, and we want medium length, which is already selected. And I click generate draft. Now, again, you're going to notice that what they generated today is slightly different from what I show in the manual, but that's okay because it's different every time. And it goes in with the golden years of blah, blah, blah. Okay. You can select enthusiastic and do it again if you want to. So I displayed the difference between um, funny and short length. So it just made the poem a lot shorter. So are there any questions right now before I go to the next subject? Because I'm done covering Copilot. In fact, I'm going to shut it down. Just close that down. Okay, the theme generator. This was it. This was fun.
And Henry, Joe had his hand up. Joe, did you have a
Oh,
question?
Yeah, you had mentioned that it was capable of creating a summary of a document.
PDF document, yes,
Of a what?
that was of a PDF document.
A PDF document. Okay. Um, would it be capable of, uh, let me explain. I do presentations using PowerPoint and I put in a lot of URLs and uh, some people can't attend the meetings, and all they have is Facebook access, but you can't put a PDF in a Facebook posting. Could it possibly go into, could you feed it a PowerPoint PDF file and have it create a table of the URLs and uh, their titles so that you could post that as a basically as a text file for people so they would be able to access that in the Facebook. Do you have any
I
idea
hear
whether
your
you could do that
question.
or not?
I hear your question, but I've never tried it, so I can't answer your question.
Okay,
Bobsky, do you have
that's
any
okay.
idea?
Fair enough. I'll try it on my own. But you gave me the idea for it, and I thank you for that.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, so back to the AI theme generator. You go to that URL to get there. Uh, so I'm going to right click on that link. Let's try. Open link in new tab. Yeah, I want to go to a new tab. So I'm going to display that tab now. There's the AI theme generator. You see that okay on the share screen? I'll assume yes. I'm going to click on create a theme. Now I have to go to my paper copy. Okay. Um, okay, we're going to type in, let me try that. I'm going to do the cut and paste thing. Put it on the clipboard again. Oh, that's not working. AI theme generator. There it is. I want to type in a very happy golden retriever dog wearing a red sweater running on a green lawn. I'm going to go Control C and copy it. And I'm going to go to the AI theme generator. There's the create a theme. I put it in a new tab. And I'm going to type in Control V, and I'm going to click Create Theme. This is the one I think I said that takes a while. Yeah, you have to be patient on this one. See the little entertainment bar going across the side at the top? So this is wearing out their servers at Microsoft right now. They're getting hot, overheating from all this work. It takes a lot of CPU power to do all of this stuff. And there's what it generated. That's similar to what's in the manual. Isn't that cute? Now, here's where it gets a little wacky. For the next exercise, I want to revert to another theme, remove this one. And there was only one way I played with this for a couple of days until I finally figured out how to do it. First of all, you click the Edge menu, and I only figured out one way to do it. They don't have a direct way to do it, and I don't know why. But I'm going to click the three dots in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to go to Settings down near the bottom and click that. Then I'm going to go to my paper copy. Thank you, Daryl, for suggesting I print this out. I'm going to go to Appearance on the left-hand side and click that. And I'm going to select a different theme. I'm going to select Juicy Plum. Notice there's a box around it. Aha! I wasn't able to see those boxes before trying it any other way. So now I select another theme. I'm going to select the default theme because look at the theme up here. It's all purple. So I'm going to click on another one, and notice that we get the new theme showing. And I go to default. And now if I go back to a Edge, well, there it is. I mean, that's an Edge. I'm displaying this in Edge. But that crazy Juicy Plum theme is gone. So I put a little note in here. I said, this seems clumsy, but I have not found another way in this version of Edge that I was working with. So that this is the one I was working with is called Stable Channel. That's the production version, but it may have been possibly in another version. And Canary is like a beta version. So that's tech talk. You can ignore all that. Okay, now we're in the manual on tabs. This was a subject I covered in previous manuals. And how much time do we are oh, we're good. We have until we have time. Okay, I'm just going to talk through these. Clicking a tab in a browser displays a web page, which could be the result of a search or a page of a website. Remember, I said there's a difference between a search engine and a browser. You can have more than one tab open in a copy of Edge. Well, look across my tab bar here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tabs running. So I can move tabs around. Notice if I hold my mouse down on AI theme generator, I can drag it anywhere I want it. I can even drag it off and down, and it'll actually open it in a new window. I can open a new tab. Open a new tab by clicking the plus sign on the right side of all your open tabs. Click the plus sign, you'll get a new tab. You can, from the Edge menu, you can open a tab in the current window or a new window or a new in private window. So that's when you go up to, see up at the top when I click the Edge menu. I can get in a new tab in a new window or a new in private window. That's where they don't keep track of your history. Like if you're in a coffee shop or something like that. Okay, I can let's see. I can right click the tab. What happens when if I right click it, I get a lot of different options. I'm not going to cover those today. I can right click open space to the right of a tab that gives you a whole. So over here, where I'm at the end of after the plus sign, where I don't see anything other tab open or a plus sign, I right click, I get another set of open. Now, here's one that's very handy. I'll mention this one. If you close a tab by mistake, or you close a window by mistake, you can always get it back by clicking in the open space on the tab bar. You can click reopen close tab, or you can actually, if it's a window, it'll say reopen close window. That's very handy. Some of this other stuff isn't very handy. Like don't bother with name window. That's totally confusing. But reopen close tab, I use a lot because I am always closing a tab by mistake. Okay. Tabs, I just wanted to point out, I can have multiple copies of Edge running and I can organize tab. If I'm doing research, for example, I might have 20 tabs open. And I might have 10 tabs open on part A of the subject and another 10 tabs on part B of the subject. I might want to organize those into separate windows, and so that I can have each window would have a copy of Edge running. One window would have 10 tabs in it, and the other window would have 10 tabs in it. So I go through an example here. But to get a second copy notice I only have one copy of Edge running right now. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tabs open. If I go down to my taskbar at the bottom, and here's at the bottom of my taskbar, and there is my Edge icon. I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to click Microsoft Edge. That's going to open another copy of Edge. See, I have one copy here and one. Now I can start dragging some of these tabs down. The AI theme generator, for example, I can drag it down. I can go left and right, but I can drag it down into this other browser and put it there. I've got to position this right. Let me see. Well, hold on. Edge tips. Don't ask me what I just did. Let me close that tab. Anyway, I can drag a tab from one copy of Edge down to another and put it in the other copy. Yeah, I think I did it. Let's see. This is what I get for going off script. I heard somebody say wow or something. Was that you, Bobsky?
Nope, wasn't me.
Wasn't you? Somebody said
But
wow.
I'm always wowing at AI, so
Okay, I'm going to get past this one because I don't want to mess around with it right now. I need to drag the tab actually itself. There. See, I just dragged it up to the other copy of Edge running. So I'm going to close that copy of Edge right now. Okay, we got it done. Put this back. Notice you don't have to maximize anymore. You'll see there's a maximize button. Just drag the title bar up and off the top of the screen. It maximizes. If you want to go restore down, just drag the title bar down. It turns it into a window. Now it can adjust the size of the window. See? So that feature was available in Windows 7. They added a lot of features in Windows 7. Okay, so let's go back to the manual now. Tricks. I'm going to go back and bring. There it is. I think I have more than one copy. That's very blurry.
I think that's the one you were using with the Copilot.
Okay, I'm going to close. Let me see how many tabs I open. Go down here. I'm going to close the AI theme generator. We can always bring them back up. Edge tips and tricks. There we go. Tab groups, that's a new subject. We're going to cover that today. A tab group feature lets you group open websites together and label them. Now, I use that a lot. The reason is I may be working on one of my hobbies is doing ancestry and genealogy with ancestry.com. And I might have a whole bunch of tabs open on my browser, whether Chrome has this feature as well. It works a little differently, but Edge has this new group. They've added the group to be a grouping feature to Edge now. Let me demonstrate and I'll show you how nice this is. I'm going to have Edge open with one or more tabs in it, and I'm going to go to the Raleigh Senior Tech Ed website homepage. So what I do is I open a new tab with a plus sign, and then I'm going to go to my bookmarks or favorites rather, excuse me. And I'm going to click Raleigh Senior Tech Ed. Now, I have now opened a one tab. Now I'm going to open some other tabs first, but what I want to show you now is if I right click on this tab, I can create a group by saying add tab to new group. So I click that and I get to name the tab name and I get to give it a color. The default's blue. I'm going to leave it blue, but I'm going to type it on highlight where it said something else. I'm going to type education. Notice that we now have what is called a label, and we have a blue line over the label and we have a blue line over the tab. Now I'm going to add another tab. And I'm going to go back to Raleigh Senior Tech Ed. Now I want to look at a different page on this website. So I'm going to go to course descriptions. So there's our course descriptions. I want to add it to the tab group. So I right click. Now it says add tab to group, and I move my mouse pointer over. I don't want to start a new group. I want to name it education. Now notice that the education, the course description tab has a blue line over it as well. I'm going to take a third tab, open a new tab, and I'm going to go to Wake County Genealogical Society. You have one in Longmont. And once again, it's not included in that group, but I'm going to right click it. I'm going to say add tab to group, and I'm going to click education. Now I have 3 tabs. Now imagine if I had 15 tabs open. I can hide them all at once just by clicking the label. It toggles on and off. Get them out of the way. Isn't that really cool?
Yes, it is.
I love it.
Yeah, it's
Very
very,
nice.
very nice. And if I want them back, I just click education again. So, I mean, I love it because I can, you know, I can organize my tabs by having multiple copies of Edge or Chrome running by just having different. But I can also, if I don't want to open a new copy of a browser, I can just create a label, create a group, and just get them out of the way for a while. Now, if you want to open, um, there are several options you can perform on a whole group. I can they have an option called pin tab group. I don't think it's working yet. So I wrote not working yet. Must be in some sort of a canary or a beta version. You can start a new tab in the group. So if I right click on the label, I can create a new tab in the group. I'm not going to do that right now, but that's what you can do. You can ungroup. Now watch what happens when I ungroup. I'm going to right click and I'm going to ungroup them. They go back where they were. Okay, they're ungrouped now. They're not part of that group. And the group name, the label for the group disappears. You can close all the tabs in a group. You can move the whole group to a new window. And you can click that education tab like I just showed you, and group and ungroup. Now, here's another couple of things I can do. Notice I have three tabs open. I can open them if I have like 10 tabs open. I want to group all of them. I can select the tabs by clicking the first one and holding my shift key down on my keyboard and click the last one. Now they're all selected. And when I click on any one of those, I can add tabs to new group. And there's education comes back again. And there it is. And I can click it. And now the other way I can select multiple tabs is by, this is kind of like in things in the File Explorer, in File Explorer where you can collect multiple files together by clicking the first and then the last with the shift key down, or you can select and toggle them on and off with the control key. So in this time, I'm going to click the first one and I'm going to hold the control key down and click just the last one. Okay, now let me ungroup them first. Ungroup. Now I'm going to click the first, hold the control key down, click the last. Now I'm going to right click one of the highlighted tabs and click add tabs to new group. And I have to rename it. I don't know why it didn't before, but education. And now watch what happens though. The first and the last ones come together in that group because I didn't select them to group. I only selected two. So they're going to push them over. And there, remember, Wake County was the last, Genealogical Society was the third tab before. Now it's the second tab because those are grouped. Course description is not part of that group anymore, but I can, in fact, I can add tab to group and click education and add it back. I believe I can even move it back where it was, right there. So all these stuff you can do with tabs. It's crazy. It's very convenient. Okay. I'm going to go to split screen. The split screen icon on an Edge browser, you know, like in in Windows, you can pin, you can pin oh no, snap. I mean, you can snap a window to the left or the right, and it becomes half screen, and then you can make it even a quarter screen. Well, I'm going to combine the two. I'm going to combine the split screen function of the browser with the snap feature of Windows. And I'm going to do this with this example. Oh, and there's a note here. It says, if you don't see the icon, there's the icon up top. It's got a window, a screen with a line through it. if you don't see that icon up there, you can go to uh, this series of things. You can go to Edge menu, settings, appearance, blah, blah, blah. Or you can go to that second option, but it requires you to restart your Edge browser. So I would select the first one. But I said, believe it or not, you can combine the window snap feature with the Edge split window feature below. I'm going to show it to you. I'll demonstrate it. So I'm showing the Windows split screen right here. Excuse me, the Windows snap feature, because I've dragged it to the left, and then I've shown the split feature of the browser by showing two different things. Let me just demonstrate. Okay, let's go to a window. Do this. And create a new tab. Drag this down. Okay, it's a new window now. Now, if I had my second monitor turned off, I would probably drag it to the right, or turned on. I would drag it to the right to get it to my second monitor. But before, when I had it on the second monitor, I dragged it right. It went to the second monitor. But now with the second monitor unplugged, I can go left or right. So I'll go to the right. Notice what happens. This is, again, a feature that was in Windows 7. There. See, if
Well,
I,
Henry, we're not seeing what you're showing.
okay, you're not seeing that.
Well, now try it again.
Okay, may just be slow. If I drag it up towards the corner, it's going to make it a quarter screen. See that gray panel in back of it? But I'm going to actually drag it to the right, and I get a gray panel, and then it fills it in.
Yeah, that worked. Thank you.
And Alice Jones, one of our RST volunteers,
Well, it's a
just,
time zone issue, I'll bet you.
I don't know. Well, I told them all noon, period, noon, our time in the email. Okay, anyway, she's wants to be admitted. Okay, now watch. I've got the Microsoft in one half. Now, when I go to the other half, whoops, that, there, it's going to show thumbnails for what else I have. There. This is the snap feature of Windows. So I can select what else I want to show over here. So let's say I selected another window. So that goes halfway. Now, I have activated split screen. If I push the split screen button, I can actually, come on. I knew this would mess me up. Oh, I have to select one. So edge tips. Let me drag it up. Let me go back to the manual. I don't want to try and demonstrate it because it was so hard to do. Let me maximize this. Let's go. Come on. There. No, maximize it. Oh, I'm going to close some of these tabs. I want this one. Oh, I'm in split screen. That's what happened. Okay. Here, unsplit it. So if we go to the picture in my example in the book, it shows the snap feature on the left side, and then in the right side, it actually shows two different websites. It's split. See, between left and right, it's split. It's not a feature that I'd use. That's for sure. Okay, let's talk about collections. I think I'm going to take splits out of the next version of this manual. It's too hard to cover. Collections. The collection feature gives you a way to save and group information on the internet. You can save text, pictures, links, and notes, and so forth. Favorites has folders, which gives you a way to group links to your favorite web pages. Clicking on a link in a collection will bring up a web page just like it worked in favorites, but collections is kind of like favorites on steroids in that you can store lots of other types of information in a collection in addition to links. So like collections can be activated by clicking on the collections icon in the address bar. So collections are this guy up here. See that one that has a little plus sign and a tilted window. So if I go to collections, it's going to show me my existing collections, which I have previously created. The collections icon is on by default. If it's not on the address bar, you can turn it on in settings and appearance. Settings, and then go to appearance. When collections is activated, a panel opens on the right side of the screen. Okay, there's the panel. You can see a link to start. You can create a new collection if I want, a link to start a new collection, or I'm going to show you this picture over here on the right side of this panel. The picture above shows two collections that are present. You can click on one of them to display the collections. So for example, if I have a Raleigh Senior Tech Ed collection, I click it, and I have a whole bunch of stuff stored in here. There's our history, there's our website, our About Us website. I have the Wake County Genealogical Society in there. I have SCTC in there. I have your logo in there. All sorts of neat stuff I can store in collections. It's kind of like a favorites on steroids. So it's kind of neat. With collections, you also have a management option. There's a 3 dots menu on the right side of the Create New Collection. So let me close this first. And I'm going to go to Collections again, which is this one. And if I create a new collection, I click 3 dots, and that gives me a way to manage them. So I click Manage. The only thing I can do is save it, right? I can reorder it and save it. That's all they've implemented. When you click the arrow to the top left of the collection, let's see if I'm on a collection. I don't want to close that, open the collection, and oh, when you click the arrow on the top left of the collection, there it is up there. That's why I write this stuff down, because I can't remember it all. When you click the arrow to the top left of the collection, you will go back to the list of collections. There you go. And then you have a management option, which I just discussed. That's collections. Workspaces, that's another new feature. And I'm recommending you do not use this feature, because it's just like task view in Windows. Windows has a capability. If I go to my taskbar at the bottom and I go to my taskbar settings, there's an option to go into task view right there. I have it turned off. But what task view does, it will organize your windows into tasks. That's another way of organizing windows and or tabs. So again, you don't need it. I would use task view in Windows if you really need it. Okay, Daryl, here's your immersive reader. You asked me to add it, and I did. I hope it works. Okay, the immersive reader makes a web page easier to read by taking out irrelevant material. Let me see. Well, I went to one that I found. Oh yes, let me try it. Okay. The immersive reader makes a web page easier to read by taking out irrelevant material, such as advertisements. And you can also have the computer talk to you and read it. The immersive reader is supported only on specific web pages, ones that have have been written to work with the immersive reader feature. When a web page supports the immersive reader, you will see a book and speaker icon in the address bar. Well, I don't see it up here. Let's see. I thought I saw this before.
You have to have a web page open.
Well, there's a web page. Do I have a book and speaker? Oh, I have to have a web page open? Okay. Let's go to a web page. Oh,
I
yeah.
use it a lot with news type articles.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't see one yet. Let me see. Oh, I know. I think it was about 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 us. I knew I saw it this morning. About us.
There you got it.
There it is. Okay. Now look at this web page. It's got a bunch of junk and stuff on it, right? If I click the immersive reader, it just takes all the junk off of it. And it just makes it more readable. Again, it's only on a page basis. So the other thing I can do is I can have it read. So if I click read aloud, it's going to start reading this to me.
Raleigh Senior Tech Ed, providing technology education for adults.
I don't know if you can hear
courses for
that.
adults in laptops, tablets, and smartphones in Raleigh.
Yeah, the other thing you can do is, let's see, read aloud. Oh, I can double click like the word tablets. I highlight tablets. Then when I click read aloud, it's going to start from that word in the text. It's going to start saying tablets.
Raleigh Senior Tech Ed, providing technology education for adults. Hands-on courses for adults in laptops, tablets, and smartphones in Raleigh and Knightdale.
Let me go to tablets. Okay. I can change text preferences to read aloud. Click X to stop reading or the escape key. Use the controls on the toolbar to pause or remove, or read aloud from here. Double click a starting word and right click to get a menu and then say read aloud. Okay, that's why I put the stuff in the manuals, folks. So I'm going to go back to Raleigh Senior Tech Ed and I'm going to double click tablets, and I'm going to right click tablets, and then I'm going to say continue to read aloud from here.
Tablets and
There
smartphones
you
in
go.
Raleigh and Nightdale. We were chartered in July 19.
And one other thing I can do is when I'm in immersive reader mode, manual right, change text preferences. So I can go to where did my I'll start it up again. Senior Tech Ed. About us. There's the icon. I can change text preferences. So I can make the text size different sizes. This is for people with seeing disabilities, probably. I can change the font style. I can change the column style and the page themes, stuff like that. Harold, do you have anything to add since you use it?
No, like I said, I read a lot of articles that have so much advertisements in them, you can't hardly get to the meat of the content. So where it works, it really works well.
Yeah, this works well. See, it took all the junk out of there, out of the page. If I turn this off, see if I can turn it off.
No, you can't. You can just close it and
You just got to start it again. Yeah, okay. Got it. Okay, let's see. We're probably almost done. Okay, I'm not going to go over favorites. Oh, let me just say something about menus, the menu options. If I go to the Edge menu and click it, we've got 15 minutes. That says, if I hover my mouse over that, it says settings and more. Settings and more. See, Alt F is a keyboard shortcut. But when I click on it, I get this menu. And you basically get a left and a right. And here's something that can be very helpful right down here. How many times have you been on a website? I just had to a whole bunch of mess with setting fraud alerts and fraud freezes and fraud alerts and freezing credit files and stuff like that uh, due to the National Public Data Corporation affected 3 billion people in the world, and I'm one of them, and so was my wife. But 3 billion, that's a lot of people. That's 10 times the number of people in the United States were affected. So, but anyway, I went through a lot with this, and uh, when I couldn't log on to a particular site, maybe it was Experian or TransUnion or somebody like that, I would get this, you have an invalid password, username or password. And when I called up the number, which I was once in a while able to get through to because they're getting so many phone calls, they say, well, clear your cache and cookies. Well, that ain't so easy to do. Chrome, it's pretty easy, but Edge makes it a little more difficult. So let's follow this. I'm going to follow these instructions because I threw this in here as a note. Edge menu, settings. I'm going to go to my printed pages. Reader. That's why I print this stuff out. There we go. Edge menu settings, privacy search. Okay, so if I go to Edge menu, settings, on the left side, I get privacy search and services. Then I have to scroll down a ways, and click under services. delete browsing data. Where is it? Services. Search and search, delete browsing data. And privacy, search and service. Delete browsing data. Clear browsing data now. I know it's in here. I think I can't scroll the rest of the way for some. Anyway, I think it's hiding some stuff here on the share screen. Delete browsing data, clear browsing data now, choose what to clear, set a time range because you can clear last 24 hours, 7 days, a month, a week, or forever, for all time. And check the cookies and cached images files and then click clear now. Private service. Oh, I know why. This black bar at the bottom is this bar that it's this black bar that Zoom puts in. Let me drag it to the top, okay? Give me 1 second. There. I'm not going to cover it. Trust me, this works. I'm gonna just that's all I'm gonna do. Okay, let's go back to the manual. Trust me, it works. I know that's correct because I test. If it's not correct, I will correct it. And if you send me a request, send me an email with your name and request a fresh copy of the manual. I'll have the latest copy in it. Okay. Now, I want to say one thing about favorites before we quit. A favorite is a link to a web page. You can use favorites to make it easy to go to your favorite web pages. Just remember the term website refers to a collection of web pages. The first page of a website is its home page. You can have multiple favorites used in tabs in one copy of Edge browser pointing to different pages of a website. And again, that can be very handy because I showed you that before when we were working with RSTE. I went to Raleigh Senior Tech Ed. And another way to do this is when I click RSTE, and if I right click course descriptions, that's another way, just on a link to a page, right click it and I can click in open a new tab. See? Now I can go to Raleigh Senior Tech Ed and go to schedule, and I didn't want to do that. I'm going to go. I need to right click schedule and open a new tab, and I open another tab. I'm going to move those around. So we get Raleigh Senior Tech Ed, we get course descriptions, we get schedule, we can have locations. I can right click locations, open new, right click, open link in new tab, and see how I've got them all strung out across here and makes it very easy. And if I wanted to create a label, obviously I can select them all. I'll just repeat this from before. Click the first tab, click the last tab, right click one of the tabs, add tabs to new group, and I'll just put education in there, and I'll click, and there it is. So they're all included now. Those 4 tabs are included in the group called Education, and I can hide them by just clicking the label and bring them back by clicking the label. Very, very handy stuff with tabs. Okay, I think I'm done. So on the favorites, just one little note. When you're on a web page, okay, you see an open star on the right side of the search box. That means you don't have a favorite set for it, okay, if it's open. But even if it's open, let me pick a different tab. Let me tab. Let's go to search. I don't know where this is going to open. There. See it? See it's open on the right side of the search box. It has an open star because I have not bookmarked it yet. Now remember with bookmarks, I am displaying the bookmarks bar. Now all of this is documented in detail in this manual that I've included here. So you can just read about it and learn about it. So that's why I put it in there. But that's an open star. And if I click that star and I click say done, it's gonna put it, it's not gonna, it hasn't put it where I want it. Okay. I want to select a different folder. So before I do that, I want to select the folder and I want to put it in, I don't know, shopping, whatever, one of my other folders, and then click done. Because you think it's done, but it's not done, even though it's saving done. Now, if you put it in the wrong place, I'm going to click done now. Now it's in shopping. You can edit it by coming back to it and doing applesauce, and then I can change the folder just by fixing it, AI. Now that's in the artificial folders, uh, artificial intelligence folder now. I think I have one up here on this bar of the bookmarks. If I click down, I pick another one. I think it's under technology. So yeah, technology. Well, that's disappeared too. Let's see. Search. See, I've got hundreds and hundreds of bookmarks. There's artificial intelligence down there. So it's a folder. Now I can always move these too. I can move this folder back up anywhere I want. I can put it back on my favorites bar. All of this is documented because it's a little clumsy to learn how to use. After you get used to it, then it's easier. But if you read the manual, it should help you a lot. Let's put it this way. I'm not going to get into favorites again. But that's covered Edge favorites, and that's all included in the manual. Let's get this bar out of here. This black bar, put it back down. Extensions. Okay, that covers extensions, and how do you get to them? You go to the Edge menu, and you go to settings and so forth. But let's check for Edge versions and updates. Okay, if you need an update in Edge, it might tell you up here on the 3 dots menu. But the best way to check is to click it. I think they made some changes in a mini version release. That's why I had to change something this morning in the manual. But if I click the 3 dots and I go to help and feedback, hover my mouse and then go down to about Microsoft Edge, It's checking for updates right now, and it says it's up to date. So I'm on build 129.0.2792.65, 64-bit version. So if you need to update, you think you might need to update your Edge browser, that's how you do it. Okay, folks, that's it.
Learned some things, Henry. Thank you.
Well, it's overload kind of, but
Well, but you got the manual, folks, to go back to, and like I mentioned much earlier, we're going to post this in the near future to our YouTube channel, so you can go back and review the material at any time.
Daryl, if you would, I'll try and remember to send you an updated copy of this manual because I did make some changes
Yeah,
to it.
please do. Then I'll link that in our information.
But if anybody else wants the updated manual, just send me an email and I will send me an email, Bobsky, and
I like the tab groups. You know, I've avoided fiddling with those, but when you showed them, I was like, hey, that's pretty cool.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I use them an awful lot.
Thank you so much.
I
I
wonder
really
if there's
learned a
not
lot.
many people using Edge. I mean, it looks like there's an increased number of people using Edge, but do we not have interest in it or what?
Well, I use Chrome and just been using it for years. Chrome has tab groups also. Okay,
Yeah,
so
so does
these
Safari.
guys they piggyback each other. Each release they try and outdo the other one. But the reason I don't use Edge a lot is because if I'm in Edge or Chrome, whichever one, and I want to add a favorite to Edge or add a bookmark to Chrome, they're the same thing, but they call them different things. But worse, there's no industry standard for bookmarks and favorites. So if I'm in Edge and I add a favorite, I've got to go back over to Chrome and add that bookmark to Chrome. What
The
a pain in the neck.
point of that is to pick one and get good at it.
So I pick Chrome and I get really good at Chrome. Had to do an awful lot of research on this version of this Edge manual because I only teach it once in a while. So Bobsky, if it's not too late in the spring, you said you wanted me to teach Edge. If it's not too late, I'll teach Chrome instead. But if it's
Uh,
late,
it's about 4 hours too late.
oh no.
I seriously, I might be able to change that. I think we get one last spin at the Go catalog, which it's in the works right now.
Oh
But
boy.
yeah, if you want